Well, Dad had always listened to black music, and Arnold Schultz, who had taught him to play, was a black man, and Dad was very aware of gospel and the black gospel and everything, and he used to listen on the radio in Chicago, and then he was just always aware of it. And he sang it, sort of would sit around and sing. He didn't do it so much on radio. That wasn't the kind of material that he would do on the radio, but when he would sort of get up by himself, he used to sing the blues a lot.
There used to be stories, I don't know if it's true or not, that Ike and Mose used to go down this, Arnold Schultz, is that his name?
Yeah.
They go down to his house and crawling under the porch and listen to him pick at night, little kids. And they'd go home and try to imitate what he was doing.
Mose and Dad used to play guitar around Muhlenberg County, picking and singing the blues at town halls and local dances. But that didn't pay the rent, so like most Kentucky men and a lot of Kentucky boys, they went down the mines to make a living.
Oh, well, it rained 5 days, and the sky turned dark at night. Well, it rained 5 days, and the sky turned dark at night. Trouble taking place in the lowlands at night. Well, it thundered and it lightened and the wind began to blow when I get you.
That was a tradition then, too, though. You got to remember, Dad started when he was 13. His father before him died, I mean, was an indentured servant in that part of the world. And that happened here. I mean, the pictures I've seen of collieries with the young 10 and 12 and 13-year-olds, little boys, I mean, with their dirty clothes, with their buckets going in the mine. That's 2 generations ago. And our father caught the tail end of that. He said the last day he worked in the mines, he was working in the mines when they were the picks, and actually they were even at one point a little earlier than that. The electric cars underground had just come in. It was mules used and things, and he was loading it for paying by the ton, the coal you could load. I mean, I can't imagine it, but that was in. He said he was digging along one time, and a flame 50-foot long shot over the top of his head, and he said he packed his stuff up, and that was it. He came out of the mine.
Like a lot of folks from Kentucky, Dad took the family and headed north to Chicago looking for work. But he got jobs playing honky-tonks in nightclubs as a musician. And we got to hear a lot of the blues groups that were making it at the time.
The first song I ever learned in my life was Paper Doll, and that's the Mills Brothers. So I remember learning that in Chicago, and Dad taking me down to one of those little recording booths that they had for soldiers to write talk letters back to their folks. Hi, I'm Elmo here, and there was a little record. He made a record of that, me singing Paper Doll, him playing the guitar. He took his guitar down. I'll never fall again. Hey boy, what you gonna do? I'm going to buy a paper doll that I can call my own. A doll that other fellows cannot steal. And then the flirty guys with their flirty eyes will have to flirt with dollars that'll be. When I come home at night, she will be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all this world. I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a fickle-minded real I do.
Later, Dad got an offer from a radio station in Iowa, so the family moved to a little town called Shenandoah.
Jim.
Yeah. Been a long time, Bo.
It surely has, and it's been a long time since the old radio days, hasn't it, Dad?
Well, a great big howdy-do to all of our good friends and neighbors. This is Dad Everly talking for the Everly family. And we're going to play and sing you some songs, neighbors, family style, also country style. And we got the whole gang on deck, Mom, Don, baby boy Phil. You know, I kind of suggest that we get the Everly brothers team up on one here. Phil, what are you going to sing this time?
Well, Dad, we'd like to do a number for the folks, and it's called Don't Let a Love Die.
Dad was paid $50 a week at first, and when he was offered $25 more for the whole family to join the show, of course, we couldn't refuse.
Someone stole you, my darling, from me. Someone stole my love and your heart.
Yeah, Little Donnie they had a 15-minute radio show on Saturdays, known as Little Donnie, and I used to get to read the commercials or something and do right before the movie. I liked that. It was the theater, or the radio station had been the fellow that was called the Earl May Seed Company. He had gone on a trip around the world, and he had fell in love with a mosque somewhere in India. Yeah. So he built this radio station that looked like a mosque with minarets on each end. We went down to this big yellow building with minarets on it, and it was the movie theater and the radio station, and you played on the stage, and they sold seed for the corn and all that. They're still there. The building is. I went to look at that building. It's gone. But what a building!
We got a standard salary, but the better you were doing with the commercial, it's like it's any kind of commercial enterprise. The better you do on the commercial aspect of it.
Yeah, well, the
better the more chances you're going to stay at the station, because they could always fire you in 2 weeks.
We were on the mornings, and 5:30 or 5 o'clock. We were there for the farmers while they were milking or getting ready to milk. They would have radios in their barns, and then they would be getting up. We would get up before the bakeries opened. That's how early that was. And we would come back from the shows
and stop
at the bakery and go in the back door and get hot cinnamon buns and take them home sometimes. The dark of the night, it'd still be dark in the winter up there when we'd done our show and on our way home. Then we'd go back and get ready to go to school.
He had joke books and stuff he'd thumb through and, get out, lines like Mexican weather report would be chilly today and hot tamale.
I'd say, Dad, I don't want to sing today. I want to make up a poem instead. I want to have a poem contest with you.
You do. Now, you know I can beat you, Phil. What do you want to have a contest?
Well, I want to pick a hard subject this time. We're going to pick...
Well, you usually pick that same one. So
well, this one's difficult. It's going to be about...
How about me picking a subject?
You pick a subject.
Birds.
That's awfully easy. We'll make it about birds and grapefruit. Make it hard.
Birds and grapefruit? You mean both at once?
Both at once. You go first.
Okay, I'm going to beat you again. I'll go first. Birds and grapefruit. I wouldn't want to be a little bird that flies up so high. I'd rather be a grapefruit and squirt right in your eye.
All right. I wouldn't want to be a grapefruit and squirt right in your eye. I'd rather be a little bird and let you have him from where.
The family wore cowboy suits and the typical kind of things on stage. Not at school or anything, but but on stage we had all the traditional country and western gear. Because it was funny too. I saw a documentary on Harry S. Truman the other day, and in '48 he did a whistle-stop tour of the United States. That's how he got elected. During that whistle-stop tour, he came to Shenandoah, Iowa, to this little 5,000 people town, and for some reason we were going to be on the show, so we were all dressed up in cowboy suits. We didn't sing, they ran out of time, and we didn't. Also, we spent the whole afternoon looking like cowboys, which made no sense at all to anybody.
Yeah, Dad was the lead singer.
Yeah.
And in those days, Dad, he encouraged Phil and I to pursue it as a duet because, guitar players weren't really happening in the 40s and 50s. Like, the singer was out front, and if you could do that, if you're a writer, that was where the business was. And Dad wanted us to be in the business. We treated it, Phil and I don't remember anything else but show business. We grew up in it. Food in our mouth came from it, you know, whether it was lean or fat, you know. It came from what we did as music, you know. We didn't learn it from anything else.
But my favorite was Lefty Frizzell.
Oh, my love is real for my mom.
I still think he's probably the backbone. I think most all country singers, all the ones you really know now, are derived from a Lefty Frizzell. I really do.
You know, you can even hear a little bit of Lefty